you can do some event promotion 6 months in advance, and you can do it 4 months in advance, but you really can't shove it in anybody's face. There's a lot of other stuff happening. A lot of other events are happening. So you really put the throttle down on your event promotion inside of that 30 to 20 day, that 20 day to 30 day window. And we're kind of getting into that 30-day window now, where you'll start seeing a lot more Dirt Million stuff come out, and a lot more promotion. And all those doors, for example, that were relinquished last year from the starting field, they'll be going up on auction literally this week, and all the way up until the event, we'll have items that are going on auction via dirtmillion.com. That you can bid. If you want to buy Earl Pearson Jr.'s helmet that he won the race with, it'll be available on dirtmillion.com. If you want to buy the green flag that was signed by the starting field, same thing. It'll be on dirtmillion.com, available for auction. So that's going to be a substantial, I would say, a substantial boost to the ticker, to the overall purse of the event for this year, and we'll just kind of see how everything shakes out. But looking forward to it, and I think we're going to have a good year too at Dirt Million.
So speaking of the purse, in 2018, the purse paid out $405,000, I believe, a little bit over that. It paid out over $250,000 in the top 3 drivers. Earl Pearson Jr. Was the winner of the Dirt Million in 2018, and I know he took home $203,000. I believe that was.
Yeah, that's somewhere along that range. It was a substantial payday for a lot of people. In fact, I didn't realize this at the time, but after the event, I was informed, I believe by Lucas Oil. They had basically told me that there was roughly 10 or 11 drivers in that 28 starting field that they received their highest career payday at the Dirt Million. So when you start doing something like that, where literally 10 different competitors in one single race receive more money than they've ever received racing in a single event, that's when you kind of almost put your chest out a little bit and kind of have a little bit of pride in what you accomplished, I'll be honest. And especially Ronnie Stuckey and Earl Pearson, and the gratitude that they showed and expressed following that event. When you get a voicemail from a team owner that's talking about the fact that he's going to be able to add on to their house or their shop or whatever it was that he said, it just kind of puts things into perspective for you. And as a promoter, I'll be honest with you, we get beat up and beat on more than we get patted in the back. And when you do get that pat in the back and you do get that thank you, it's almost like a shot in the arm for us. I mean, that's really what it's about. I mean, this business can be tough, and you got to have thick skin, and I've got some really thick skin, but I'm no different than anybody else. Having a thank you every now and then isn't a horrible thing, and it isn't a horrible feeling at all. So it was kind of nice last year to have so many positive thoughts about the event. I remember even after the event, a lot of the drivers just complimenting all of it, the entire thing. And that was even with having rock issues. And several of the competitors that had a chance of winning that race, one could argue that what took them out of the race was maybe a rock going through a radiator or something. And they still were very thankful. And that was what was really cool about the event last year, and why I really look forward to it this year. You look forward to get back to that, and obviously eliminating those issues we had and just focusing on another good event. So, again, just looking forward to it.
And there are 3 nights of the Dirt Million this year, right? August 22nd, 23rd, 24th?
Yep, added the 3rd night, so Thursday's a full race program, just like Friday now with the twin tents, and they'll add to the point structure. It's not really a point structure, but it is a seeding process. Basically, how you're finishing those preliminary nights will determine where you start in your heat race on Saturday, which is very important, and that's where the big money is. So I love the format, and I like how it all kind of flows together. And it's a little bit of a tweak and twist off of last year, but there's a lot of similarities as well.
So to the listeners, if you haven't checked out the Dirt Million, go to the website, dirtmillion.com. Check out the format. As we mentioned last week on the podcast when we talked to Chris Ferguson, you have the ability to support the drivers. You have the ability to help them gain some points. You can buy their pit pass for them. And there's a lot of things it sounds like are going to be going up for auction there. Go to dirtmillion.com and get your tickets. The race is August 22nd, 23rd, 24th at Mansfield Motor Speedway. I was there for most of the event last year. I can tell you it's an experience that you don't want to miss here in Mansfield. It is the next big race, in my opinion, in Ohio and in this area. And it was an incredible experience. Just make sure that you support it. Cody, I want to talk. I'm not sure how much more time you have, but I want to talk about Dirt Draft really quick. If you got a few more minutes.
Sure.
So I have joined and I'm playing. I believe this is the 4th competitive week on Dirt Draft, if I'm counting correctly. And this is a pretty interesting concept for those that have been playing fantasy football, baseball, or other sports, and you happen to be a racing fan or a dirt fan. Can you tell us a little bit what the format's like?
Yeah, so Dirt Draft, again, began as an idea. I had this thought that I'm a sports guy, and I'm, I would say, pretty cutting edge. And again, that probably comes with being a little bit younger in our sport and being in a position at a younger age than a lot of people beside me. And I just really felt like our sport needed something like Dirt Draft to engage more with, I guess, the generation coming, but also the younger generation we already have. Like you guys and like myself, where get them involved again. The more you can get your fan base involved with what's going on, the more attentive they'll be to your sport, and hopefully can help our sport. And I truly believe that fantasy in our sport is going to do nothing but help it. And that whole idea, it started, and again, it just kind of got put on the shelf for a while there because of other projects. And that's really just how things work. If you got a big project on the table, it's hard to engage in your new one that you're working on. And thankfully, I had it on the table, had a conversation with some people, and some people that I work closely with that they were all in, wanting to get it going and wanting to partner with me and make it happen. So I actually, decided let's get this thing rolling and brought these guys in. And Clint Dahl, he kind of spearheads it now. He's the owner of Firethorn Marketing, but he's one of my partners in Dirt Draft. And, if it wasn't for him, we really probably wouldn't have it off the ground yet. He really has kind of taken control of the wheel and made a lot of things happen. But, the overall concept come to be probably about 2 years ago. And again, spent a lot of time. This thing, we announced it at the Dome last year, that it was coming. So, just do the math. It's been a long time. There's been a lot of software that's been developed. This is, as you can see, it's not a simple thing to get all these events working in a software to where it's communicating to our algorithm, which communicates to the points, which communicates to the user. So there's just a lot of stuff that had to be built and had to be custom made specifically for our sport, because our sport's different than the NFL and MLB or anything else where there's fantasy applications already out there. We didn't really have one to work off of. So very excited about Dirt Draft. I think that it's very, very early on, great signs. A lot of people are having a lot of fun doing it. And I only see things getting bigger and bigger and bigger with Dirt Draft. We just are getting started. And to have the amount of interest, even on the competitor side, whether it's Kyler Courtney or Bobby Pierce or Jonathan Davenport, a lot of these guys are already playing it and already involved with it. And it's pretty cool to see that everybody's having a good time with it.
And that just went live Well, the website's been up for a while, but if you are an iPhone user, that just hit as an app.
Yes, this was my first business in the digital space, launching an app or anything of that kind. And, I obviously got a quick education that it's not easy to get an iOS app approved and on, the Apple Store or the iTunes Store. It was a complicating process. Google Play, it was a lot quicker, and it was available quicker, but we finally got iOS approved, and it's now available for download, whether you're in the Google Play or iOS world. It's available both ways. Plus, you can always go to dirtdraft.com and play on your desktop too. But we've really been live with Dirt Draft for, I would say, really just a few weeks now. It was up and it was there, but we were not really actively bringing on users, and we didn't have everything, call it, finalized. It was just kind of there for people to see. Well, in the last 3 weeks, we've full blown got it rolled out and active to where, like, I can assume there's probably roughly 10 or 12 events this weekend that users can play, whether it's sprint cars or late models or modifieds. I mean, there's always something on Dirt Draft, and the way that our platform works is you basically become a subscriber and a user, and you can play all of those games, and there's no entry or anything for those games. You basically are just a member of our site, and you get to play it, and you get points, and you can redeem those points in our speed shop, which launches August 19th, our speed shop. So pretty exciting, cool deal. And, who knows, maybe there'll be a day where we're actually playing for real money on Dirt Draft. But that's a whole other animal and a whole other area of regulation. And trust me, it's something that we're looking into and we're hoping to be able to do someday. But right now, the points in the shop is a pretty cool concept in trade out for that.
Yeah, so Dirt Draft has just this week something for nearly everybody. You've got USAC non-wing sprints. You've got USAC midgets non-wing sprints. The late models. You've also got the World of Outlaws. You can pick an event here and pick your top, I believe it's 5 drivers, and participate in just about anything that you're interested in. Asphalt late models is a category here. I've been in a couple weeks, and it's a lot of fun. It's something else to, if you're not watching a race, you're still picking a race that you're not watching somewhere else. You always got, you can dive deeper into to racing than you already are. So before we wrap it up here, Jacob, do you have any other questions for Cody before we let him go?
I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this, but so Cody, you can answer it if you want to or not. I won't judge you. What does the future hold for Cody Sommer and Mansfield Motor Speedway?
I knew you'd ask me that. I did. I knew you would. But I'm not 100% sure. I think people again are starting to realize it's easy to forget. That original. Rewind almost 3 years now. That original, call it, release, and that original plan of, hey, got this place for 3 years and I'm committed to 3 years. And after that, basically I either need to buy and stick around or call it what it is. Well, I would say I'm not in a position to be able to say one way or another right now. My hope is to have Mansfield and continue with Mansfield. I've invested a lot of time, blood, sweat, tears, literally, in the place, and it's a part of me now. You know what I mean? And it's a part of the people that work there, and it's part of the community, and it's part of the fan base now. And it's like I don't want to stop as long as I don't have to. And that's really kind of, we'll just have to see how the rest of the year and Dirt Million plays out, all that, just kind of see where everything looks at the end of the year. But my hope is to keep moving forward with it. I guess we'll find out at some point this fall when we really start, analyzing, its future and kind of how we're going to move forward.
Well, we hope that is the case. We hope that there's definitely a future with